Priyanka ma'am, are you there in the meeting?
I think madam is there, but madam is not able to turn on her microphone. Priyanka ma'am, can you please respond in Q&A? Priyanka ma'am. Priyanka ma'am, are you there? Ma'am, please respond in Q&A.
Hi Jyoti, I will do one thing. I will give options to everyone. Then madam can join.
What is the mail ID of Priyanka ma'am that you have added in this meeting, ma'am?
Ma'am's generative AI 100 giga.
Okay, I'm not able to find.
See, now I have given microphone for attendees, camera for attendees, and everything. Who can present the session? Who can present everyone? Ma'am, I think now you can access, ma'am. Priyanka, ma'am. Ma'am, are you there?
Kalavati ma'am, please make a call to her.
Okay, now she has responded. Ma'am, I have enabled a microphone, camera, and everything to you. Meanwhile, I have given permission to all the participants. If you have any doubts, you can raise the questions.
Yes, ma'am. I can access the microphone now.
Yeah, you can share the screen also, ma'am.
Right.
You are audible, ma'am.
I'm audible. Okay, great, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you so much. There was a little hiccup with the audio, but now we are all good. I'm just quickly going to share the settings here for my screen. So firstly, as we go into the overview of generative AI session, I would like to firstly thank Vvit and Kalavati ma'am for this brilliant opportunity. Always a boost of encouragement to founders like us who are trying to give back to the student community. So just a quick introduction. I am Priyanka Kamath. I am the founder of 100 Giga.
Priyanka ma'am, sorry to disturb you.
Priyanka ma'am, we are very sorry to disturb you. We will introduce you, ma'am.
Oh, okay, sure.
I want to introduce you to the audience, ma'am.
Okay, sure.
Okay, as we move forward, we will
Multi-cousin restaurant.
All the participants are requested to mute themselves.
As we move forward, we turn our attention to another groundbreaking topic, overview of generative AI, which stands at forefront of innovation, creativity in technology today. This session is delivered by Ms. Priyanka Kamath. Priyanka ma'am, a warm welcome to you.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. It is truly an honor to be here with the Vvit faculty, esteemed leadership, and all of the Atal FDP program stakeholders. So congratulations on putting together such a stellar lineup. Not only is it an honor for us to give back to the community of students, but also interact with each other and build a strong foundation for exponential technologies that can take our country forward. So without any further ado, yes,
okay, ma'am. It's my privilege to introduce you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes.
Ms. Priyanka is a visionary founder and chief of SAS and 100 Giga. Priyanka is recognized as one of the top 100 women in Web3. Her remarkable journey includes serving as a World Bank technical consultant US and being featured on prestigious platforms such as United Nations, Stanford Fabs, and the New York Stock Exchange. Priyanka's education background includes a Bachelor of Technology in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from JNTU, as well as a Seed Spark Founder degree in Developing Economics and International Development from Stanford University. Priyanka Kamath is highly accomplished engineer turned entrepreneur who is currently focused on building skill equity for a blockchain-led future billion through her co-founding role at workbugs.io. With over 20 years of relevant experience, she has a strong background in intranet portal development, custom intranet applications, investment management products, automation, and transforming the cybersecurity landscape for 75 countries. Priyanka has global initiatives at PepsiCo, where she worked as a global lead for application security engineering and provided technical consulting services to Novartis and World Bank headquarters. She is also fascinated about education and has been bringing digital literacy to marginalized communities since 2010, which led her being invited to United Nations headquarters in 2014. During the second wave of pandemic, she returned to India to launch an AI-powered skill engine under Amazon Education India in 2021, igniting a thriving entrepreneurial journey. Kamath's technical expertise include Ethereum, AWS, DAO, blockchain, and her entrepreneurial spirit has led her co-found Skill DAO-centric Skill 2 and platform for higher education at workbugs.io. She is also Stanford C22 Select, iVentures at ISB Select, and Ethereum Denver 22 Select, which demonstrates her commitment to staying at the forefront of latest technological advancements. Ms. Kamath has also pioneered initiatives like 100 Girls in Blockchain and Dhankanya, both of which champion skill, equity, and innovation. She provides free education to girl students across various fields, including generative AI, blockchain, and NFTs, empowering them to excel in these transformative technologies. Without further delay, I now invite Ms. Priyanka Kamath to take over. Ma'am, the virtual floor is yours.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that amazing introduction. I am so honored that my entire journey has been, in front of my eyes. I hope it does, serve as a direction for people who think, or students who think that, hey, look, if we are metallurgical engineering or industrial engineering, we can't get into exponential technologies with AI and blockchain. We can, and I'm a living example in front of you. Also, I would like to say that the only startup that I have right now is 100 Giga, which is 100 Girls in Generative AI. We specialize in building SaaS products, especially for the bottom billion. So wherever we see problems that are arising in terms of financial literacy, farmer profitability, bridging the pediatric surgeons to their 25 million students out there, right? So we're able to pinpoint these bottom billion problems and actually build SaaS solutions for them, so software as a service. So this is where we are excelling in experiential learning, which bridges the academia and industrial gap. That way, we hope to see you all leverage the benefits from our learnings, which I've put together in this deck today. And it's all, real-time knowledge. Again, I like ma'am was saying, I'm very, I have decent success in blockchain and I'm just foraying into AI. So if I can do it, you all can do it as well. Having said that, my first startup is actually SkillX. It's an AI-powered NLP recommendation engine where we mapped 5,000 jobs to 75,000 skills. It was picked up by Amazon Education as well. Somewhere the NLP journey has got me into the generative AI journey. So we'll just take a quick look on how this is becoming the most transformative technology of our times. And while there is a fear mongering about how AI is going to displace entry-level jobs, we will exactly see how to leverage this beautiful technology for winning in product, process, and automation. So while I say this, right, it needs to come from a mindset, like exactly how Kalavati ma'am has brilliantly time over time taken new steps in evolving herself now with blockchain. Similarly, we all need to have a dynamic mindset and see from morning to night how we are integrating AI in our day to day, right? It all starts with a mindset. Especially for me, I think it's been almost 1.5 years I've not been using Google. It's been Perplexity. That is my go-to tool for any kind of research, academic papers, or any kind of projects I want to do with my girls, students, or you can call them my team, my 100 people team. I go to Perplexity and then have this brilliant source of information and tool repository there. It is like my mini MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, as I can say. So without any further ado, right, like how did this beautiful technology that was once only a part of, say, the premier data scientists in MIT labs, in Stanford labs, now is actually sitting in your mobile phone, which is when I started my computer science journey, back in school, that then, we were probably, I think, using basic languages like Fortran and that kind of computing language, right? Right now, if you see, you have a million times more of computing language in your phone. And as you can see, building AI systems is really hard, right? We needed to understand what is the scope of the project, what is how to collect this data. India has a big problem in structured data. We don't know where to even find basic data for doctors to go and treat, say, cancer or pediatric surgery. So those kind of basic things which are needed for a country to develop, that itself is missing. And this is where right now we are living in times where not only we have data in our hands, access to training the model and deploying it in production is taking less than 30 minutes. So that is the power of computing that we have right now. And I want all of you to be very, grateful about it, because this was only in the hands of a few researchers just a few years ago. Um, so while I was saying that, we realized, hey, look, we are going to go ahead and build some cutting edge capstone projects which are going to be impacting the economy drivers. So every time I say this, I only say this because we want to be solving problems with technology. It's not just about learning, hey, look, Claude is the latest benchmark or OpenAI is the latest benchmark. No, but what is the problem you're trying to solve with OpenAI? What is the problem you're trying to solve with Gemini, Google AI technology? That is where these different kind of problems come into picture. So we did this amazing cohort. In fact, Vvit girls were also a part. Suhana from finance was actually in the winning team, and Poshana GPT, which we will take care next year, has Gopika from Vvit as well. So kudos to Vvit. We are taking different problems from the real-time world and seeing which foundation model cracks which. So now all of these terms might seem new to you. What is foundation model? How do we understand which use case to solve with which foundation model? All that we will be discovering in today's session. So like I was saying, we are right now in the most amazing times where you are able to see different Gen AI models that have taken over. So, firstly, what is this generative AI? Why is it called generative AI? Why is it not, called natural language processing or cognitive vision, cognitive AI? So generative AI technically is the one that is already on pre-trained data sets and is able to generate different types of text, different types of code, different types of images, and basically, 70% of the uh, um, transformation we have seen is in content format, which is a boon for lawyers. It's a boon for clinical research data scientists. It is a boon for marketing people. It's a boon for solo founders like me who are always changing different hats. So what does generative AI actually entail, right? So you can create new data instances. The learning probability with the different data instances that you have, that can actually be put into uses of how you classify data, how you then pre-train data, and how you can actually generate gold from that particular data. Now we will come back to this, but we will see exactly like how different foundation models and model selection framework takes place to actually harness gold from this, right? So we want to first of all understand, hey, look, what are the different landscape and tools we are currently dealing with, right? So on an overall, every single day you're hearing about ChatGPT, Perplexity, and all of these new, right, is actually Claude. So you are seeing all of these, but how is this all being stacked up, correct? So first you have the compute layer, on top of which you have the foundation layer, on top of which you are building with the API calls from ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, and whatnot, right? So where exactly you come into play is building on the application layer. Yes, right now you can also build foundation models, but you need to have a big ticket with big tech who has probably a nuclear reactor somewhere, because that is the cost of compute we are dealing with. So this is where students and teachers can definitely like dabble. In fact, at the end of the session, we'll quickly do a chatbot and see how these different stacks are actually playing in harmony. So when we talk about compute and inference layer, it is the core engineering guys, right? Like there was a time when electrical engineers, electronics engineers did not have jobs. And now with the boom of semiconductors, with the kind of, nuclear reactor powers needed, we all are in demand. So I wish I was graduating at this point of time now, where I can go and apply for NVIDIA and, showcase my talents in how we can harness different, say, cybersecurity for hardware, because security is not just with software, it can be through hardware. I'm specially mentioning this because this is the most lucrative job opportunity out there when you combine a niche domain with the kind of products that are already available. So yes, we have different kind of compute structures, and AWS has the most diverse foundation models that you can play around with, and it gives you a way for low code people to come on no code also. So don't ever think that it's only for AI, CS, or ML people who can come on. You can dabble with different K parameters, temperatures, how these foundation model work for which use case, build a prototype, and then you push into production so that you don't have to worry about compute costs. Now, when you all probably say go to crack an interview, or when you're teaching your students to crack an interview, all these metrics are really important, because they will, whoever, like you're ultimately building for industries, and the industry folks will think, oh, wow, they're actually thinking about our benefit and not just within the periphery of what they are building, right? So always having that long-term engineering vision and how we are able to do things faster, cheaper, better, I think it is all going to boil down with AI there. So while we keep moving on, like I was saying, you need a big ticket, big tech, but on top of that, what can you build? It is your brilliant chatbots, your large language LLMs, your small language LLMs, all of this on generative AI. Why do we need this now? Because the kind of data sets that are out there, I think just the terabytes of data set that we see, just within, if we take like, the VVIT history, I'm sure you'll have terabytes of data on students, which will actually help your faculty to understand, okay, based on this analysis, looks like 60%, 70% of the students are going to crack the jobs today, just with that kind of data set. So when we are sitting on these large amount of data sets, it's really important for us to harness or extract hidden insights from that. And that is exactly where generative AI comes into play. So we've seen the evolution of artificial intelligence, right? It was right from 1960s. We've been seeing it, but today we are at an inflection point where we are able to process trillions of tokens. Actually, it will be tens of thousands of tokens through our phone itself, through one query at Perplexity, one query of Chat GPT.
Priyanka ma'am, you are in mute, ma'am.
Did it just get mute now?
Yes, you are. Yes, ma'am, you are audible now.
Okay. Okay, now it's better. Okay, great. Yeah, I think I got a little excited there. So I was just finishing saying that through deep learning, we got into complex inputs and simple outputs, where complex inputs, it could be as, data annotations, data labeling, how to categorize data, all of that you had to do. So as simple example as, when you log into Google and it says like which are the traffic lights or which are the bus, and you select, you are actually training the Google data to understand how, what is what and how the data and image classification takes place. So you were technically doing deep learning for Google when you were doing that. And now you don't have to worry about any of that, because foundation models have already reached a peak point where complex inputs can actually give you complex outputs. So we'll see how that happens. We are seeing a massive transformation shift in drug discovery, in patient engagement. So when you give like terabytes of data on, say, breast cancer imaging, right? Like the tumors that you see, the doctor there is able to identify which is benign, which is non-cancerous tumor just by looking at it, which could probably before this time take years of data, years of research, and we needed a radiologist. Now that radiologist work has been reduced to 1/10, and we are seeing proven track records where 25% to 25% of the costs associated with these traditional methods are being saved. Again, in finance investment, if we can take an example, risk management, fraud management in the banking sector can actually be reduced in billions of values of rupees. So this is where we want to showcase, look, AI is not just there because it is the latest thing to learn, but there is a proven track record that you will get projects if you work in certain domain-led areas. I keep mentioning agri, I keep mentioning hospitals, I keep mentioning finance, because every time you build a project, you have to put yourself in that thought process and only then build. Okay. So like I was saying, different foundation models that we are seeing right now, solving for different domain sets. Again, Claude does a great job in mathematical computation. Any kind of PhD level problems you give, OpenAI is Omni One is doing a great job at it. If you are looking at different clinical trial research, healthcare, Anthropic is doing great job at it. So this is basically, when you pick foundation models, it's like picking a car, which is good for your road trip, say. So it can be so many variables that you need to take care and do. So in order to make this really easy for you, I have a how to build a foundation model, pick a foundation model framework, which I'll be sharing with Kalavati Ma'am Garu and everybody here, so that you can input the data and see which is the right foundation model for you all to build on. I think it's a little stuck here. Let me just, yeah, present. So the foundation model selection, like I was saying, you have like different varieties to choose from. Okay, so if we can just go ahead and choose, it'll be dependent on do you have a pre-trained set of data? Do you already have the classification done? Is it unstructured or raw data? Can it be applied to wide variety of contexts from alphanumeric to numeric to only alphabets? So those kind of nuances are very important when you come. Again, we've made this very easy through a simple Excel sheet where you can check the different benchmarks. When I say benchmarks, it is like for how much input you're getting, how much output. So we will be covering that in the coming slides. So the number of token processing, how higher it is, that means that good of a foundation model it is. So right now, OpenAI's Omni 101 is almost doing, I think, more than 10,000 tokens or even more. I'll just get the number right. But that is the token parameter enhancement that we are getting into. Again, if you've seen the recent, talks about the digital public intelligence in India, we are looking at a time where these kind of benchmarks and race classification, right? Like foundation model is like a race. Everybody is trying to hit the token benchmarks and see who is going to be better. We will reach a point in time in 2 years almost where you yourself can build these foundation models and they become a data commodity. So that means you will be doing the work of Meta and no more the work of like Claude or ChatGPT. You will be playing at the foundation model level. You will not be playing at the application level. So that is something we can look forward to in 2 years. Well, like I was saying, the entire generative AI lifecycle can be put in this nutshell, where model selection, we spoke how that happens. Model evaluation depends on the different parameters you're putting in, how it's going to process certain alphanumeric, numeric evaluation and reinforced human learning. You need to apply different types of mechanisms to extract knowledge from that, extract information from that, because just building an LLM will not help. You will need to have different types of ways of mechanisms where you extract information from this LLM. Otherwise, it is as dumb as like a robot without any kind of instructions that you give. And then when you decide, hey, look, are we going to do this through text summarization or human feedback in the loop through prompt engineering, or you want to harness retrieval augmented generation, or you want to do fine tuning for longer periods of time to give you better precision of output, you will be able to decide on the problem you solve it. So by the end of this, we'll quickly do, one low code, no code chatbot also, so that it will be easy to understand how we do this app development. So coming further, we have, different ways of actually how to pick this foundation model, right? Like I was saying, Hugging Face can give you a wealth of information on the various models that they have. I'll send all these links to you. Again, Amazon Bedrock, it will have all of these models that I showed currently, from Anthropic Claude to Meta Llama to, I think except for Google, it has everything. So you can actually take a low code, no code tool and see which of the model selection framework works for your particular problem. So going further, let me quickly take up the tokens, which is the biggest part of how you select the model foundation model. So like I was saying, tokens is nothing but how much of the word processing that happens within your particular foundation model, right? My bad, it was not 10,000, 65,000 tokens. So this at one point, just when we started off in January, Claude 3.5 Sonnet was the highest with 8,000. And now just within, 11 months, we are seeing how it has gone like, like 10 folds with almost now this is going to hit 80K for sure. So this is the particular foundation model you need. But the one challenge with all of this processing is technically how much computation cost you will need. So yes, you will have the state of the art Omni one, but do you have enough credits from OpenAI to actually solve a query? So this is where I'd really recommend Sarvam AI, which is built for India's LLM, where, I think at a frugal cost of 1 rupee for one query, you are able to build very robust GPTs, LLMs, and chatbots for your own need. And hopefully, we'll have one day Sarvam AI come in also, because we are planning to take our first chatbot, Dhankanya, which is built for, I wish I could give you the demo. We're facing a little bit of bugs with that. We're currently working on the text to speech audio and speech to text audio, vice versa libraries. So that all will come from your Indian language models, because like I was saying, Dhankanya is built for India by the girls of India to understand what schemes are provided in states, what scholarships are provided in states, so that students can start building the scholarship fund right from the school itself, right? So for that, if you give a OpenAI database, it will not understand, because it's not trained on Indian hemisphere. It is trained on Western hemisphere data set. So this is where we need to be really careful about which foundation model we are choosing. So hopefully, once we have Dhankanya integrated with Sarvam, we'll be able to give you that demo. I'll request Kalavati Ma'am Garu to actually give that demo for all of us as well. So considering we've chosen the foundation model now, and we need to understand how to actually harness gold. Because I was saying, just LLMs building this particular large language models, which means you have like a terabyte of data set, and you need to build an intelligent system that understands it. Just building a chatbot will not help, because you need to give it source, you need to give it certain prompts, you need to understand how to retrieve information from that. So this is where we see three types of techniques which are the most useful at this point in time. I'm sure this is going to evolve in the next year. We are going to see AI agentic workflows as a year of 2025. And I would love to give a session on that also once I've built an AI agent. So coming to now 2024, prompt engineering has taken over by storm. In fact, I think in America, people are earning up to 2 crores or something just by being a prompt engineer. That is, it's nothing but how you talk to the AI system. So by designing and refining prompts, how you will do the input, right? And how you're able to bring specific kind of input, say from text summarization, text extraction, to actually giving a problem where it can solve mathematical formulas also, or physics laws also for you. So that kind of prompt engineering is very much needed, because the better you know how to talk with the machine, the better output you will get. We, of course, like I was saying, with the evolution of natural language processing technology happening, we are seeing this being reduced more and more. Like the machines are becoming very intelligent, where you don't have to say, hey, think like a founder and build a financial model for me. If you say build a financial model for me for this business, it will already start building. That chatbot will start building. So that is how we are going to evolve. The second technique, which is the most used, is retrieval augmented generation. So this is basically how you optimize your output, right? So say you have this large language model which is built on terabytes of data all across the internet, but you are only building for a healthcare application, right? How this particular LLM, which is say a chatbot, can only extract from a certain healthcare data set is determined by this retrieval augmented generation. So we are seeing cases of hallucination, data hallucination, where it will take wrong data, where you have so many pre-trained data sets in healthcare, especially during the 1970s time, right? There were clinical data trials done where if you're taking medicines, it won't work for women. That's how much biased the system was. So if you need to build responsible AI systems, you need to include all of these different ethical considerations so that you will have the right output. Now, if I say, will paracetamol work for me? In some cases where 1970 they had all these research through scientists, it wouldn't work, right? So paracetamol might be not the one, but there's some medicine that doesn't work on women but was tested. So these are just some real-time examples to help you understand, hey, look, in this large terabytes of data, if we only need to extract certain pointers, certain nuanced, outputs that we need, you need RAG for that. Now, fine tuning also is a very good contender. There is always a discussion between do we use fine tuning, do we use RAG, how do we get the best outputs from whatever intelligent systems you're building, right? So before we get into that, want to see what is fine tuning. So it's basically, you are training data sets for a longer period of time. It has a deeper understanding of domain. In fact, after certain periods, say, there's a famous YouTuber called Varun Maya. I'll highly recommend all of you to watch his videos. He's done some recent interviews with Microsoft AI CEO also. So he has trained his videos on fine tuning. That means for a longer period of time, he's already, the videos know what to do next and what kind of content will the people like. So when you want to build robust systems, it needs to be a combination of retrieval augmented generation and fine tuning, which will give you the golden outputs. So make sure that these two things are always there in your system. And there are different types of prompt engineering techniques, which, I'd like to give you in the form of a workshop. Like I was saying, text summarization, text classification is one. Something that really I like is chain of thought prompting, where you can give different, like a store had 150 apples. They sold 30 in the morning, 50 in the afternoon. How many apples are left? It'll exactly break down with the formulas and give you. This is a very simple problem, but you can give more evolved techniques for chain of thought prompting. So this is where, the RAG and fine tuning also kind of come together. So no matter what data set you give, if you need proper outputs, you need to have, for Q&A generation, go ahead, give that fine tuning, and you will be able to do much more nuanced evaluation. And if you give RAG, and you are able to integrate the GPT, you are able to again get that same kind of evaluation. But it depends on how many steps you are taking with fine tuning and how many steps you're taking with RAG. That will actually determine the output for it. So it's actually advisable to do both in order to get the precision data set for you. While we move on further, I'm just seeing, ma'am, we probably have until 9:30, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So we are seeing different types of prompt engineering techniques, which, I would love for you to work based on this use cases and come up with your own prompt engineering techniques. Maybe you don't have to do it now. You can go ahead and do it when you are, free, have some time. So when we think about the different kinds of prompts, fine tuning and RAGs and different kind of use cases, you have to think in terms of how to automate process, products, and people. So if you want to take up, again, the our favorite, like financial services, the amount of risk, right? I think just yesterday I was reading how one person was scammed with 91 lakhs rupees, 91 lakh rupees just through stock market investments. Now, if you know how to minimize these risks based on your data set, say if you have been investing in stock markets for 10 years now, you are able to understand with your own Chrome data, browser data, how better you can avoid, the lower yield stock versus higher yield stock. So that is the kind of, power that we have right now. just on basis of your history and the way you are dealing with your data sets, you are able to boost your own productivity, wealth, and save time for yourself. So here in different ways, you have different use cases. I personally worked on financial services, healthcare. So we'll be, mostly dabbling in that itself. So to enhance customer experience, you can do different ways. Say you are able to build a VVIT student experience where you can showcase different ways students have contributed to VVIT success, be it placements, be it winning Stanford conferences, be it winning scholarships. You can build your own chatbots through these low-code, no-code models. One of the model is Chip AI, which I will take at the very end of it, where you can just configure based which prompts, how much of resource data sets you have, and build the chatbot for yourself. When we come to enhancing customer experience, you will see conversation analytics, personalization increasingly become the norm because we are seeing that in education space also, more like a AI avatar of the professor is going to come and teach because that professor of the AI, the AI bot, will have exact information of the student profile, will be able to solve the doubts in terms of that particular student's mindset and acumen. So this is where we are seeing a lot of San Amigo type of AI professors coming and solving for students. So that kind of personalization is going to be the norm. When it comes to productivity, again, content creation, code generation, especially for solo founders like me, where we are teaching 100 girls, the code coming from a GitHub Copilot is much more necessary, and how we are able to, sorry, where is, how we are able to actually prompt and actually take the code for, the entire data set just with these kind of prompts, like prepare the DB, you will get a code. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Like GitHub screen, ma'am, VS Studio.
Sorry, ma'am.
VHub Studio. VS Studio is what is shown on your screen, right?
Yes, ma'am. Dhankanya.py is
Right, ma'am. So just when it's solo founders like me, just within these prompts, right, preparing the DB with Hugging Face, or you can search the DB. You just need to write the prompt, and you are going to get this particular code generated. So this is how it's going to actually help you also within your coding practices, predictive analytics that you can do on a certain data set. So that's how you boost productivity. And then for business processes, I do have various tools like Zapier that can say, if you are a marketing person in Vvit, you need to take the same Twitter post to a LinkedIn to an Instagram. It'll take like a thread from Twitter, convert it into LinkedIn, and then convert it into Instagram. You don't need 3 people to do this. One person within the cost of 1/10 can be able to publish this to deployment. So we've seen chatbots to code productivity to marketing. Everything is covered in these use cases through generative AI. While we keep going further, right, like I was saying, there are some of these tools which definitely I recommend for all of you to streamline your projects with. So like I was saying, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, great tools to understand how we can actually do research. So Claude and Perplexity, Claude and Gemini both have their licenses. So Perplexity, I do have like my own one, and I basically just have to say how can I think like a startup founder and build financial models for edtech. So I can just like know that this information that is coming, I know the sources for that. ChatGPT doesn't at the point give you sources. And I get like, you know, these are text extraction and the cognition that we are talking about, that it gives you exact breakdown of, okay, what is a CAC, what is a CLV, what are the funding scenarios. If you need to understand, like, you know, what are the latest jobs in cyber security, how can I think like a recruiter and interview me on cyber security jobs. So for all these purposes, I definitely like to use Perplexity. It is much more academically nuanced, and you can interact with the tool, you know, like a HR recruiter. You don't need to have someone to practice your interviews and stuff. So this is how it goes. The same applies for students also, teachers also. Like if you want to say interact with your students and see what kind of questions they ask, you can definitely use all of this. And one of my favorites is, like I was saying, the Chip AI tool, which is such a great way to build templates. Say they have built everything from a Python buddy. You can come in and configure the different types of prompting templates and sources that you can upload, which will make you your own Python buddy. So this is something of a 100 giga buddy, right? So what we wanted to do was, instead of me answering 100 questions about what is 100 giga, we just built a friendly chatbot where you can configure the name, description, see how the chatbot behaves, and the conversation starter, which becomes your prompt templates. Your goal comes, like your main knowledge comes from these sources that you will actually input. So it could be in forms of documents and PDF, right? So you basically, we are seeing how to do AI tooling for a lot of our students. So once we build that knowledge source, and we are able to feed this particular chatbot, the chatbot will train through fine-tuning LLMs with the number of people who use this kind of chatbot, the more training this chatbot gets. Correct. So this is how the fine-tuning takes place. It can be in you know, in a 1 year time, maybe I'll get the accuracy precision of 90%. Right now it might be just 60% because I'm just starting off. Again, you must have seen I just uploaded a AI tooling only, right? So within 100 giga, we have like lot of, like, we build LLMs, we do workshops, we do chatbots, but tooling purposes, I have extracted one particular data set, which is the retrieval augmented generated model, where I'm telling the chatbot, look, only from here you're supposed to give me answers. So those kind of things, you can actually do this all by yourself. Again, all of these links will be provided in that particular deck. So you can go ahead and you know, build. You can in fact share. You can sell also. You can start earning passive income right when you are in college, and you can build the different kind of chatbots here. So one of the things which we have built is, you know, like a startup companion. If you can help me brainstorm ideas, I'm thinking, you know, to maybe build in uh, D2C market for, say, healthy food, right? D2C healthy food. So it will give me certain data sets based on my nuanced way, because I have already fed the chatbot with a retrieval augmented training data that's saying, from these food items, choose your healthy food, and then you like give me the different kinds of um, preferences. There, of course, this is like the demo always has some kind of bug, but I will give this later to you. We can probably try a few other different prompts where, say, the Sahyog bot can also tell you if you want to get into different startup schemes available in India, so that you don't have to put in capital. You will have some, you know, nuanced way of actually pulling this out. And if you say, hi, I am from Andhra Pradesh, what are the scholarships schemes available for students, it can give you that exact information. So all I'm trying to say with this is you have the power of computation of a Silicon Valley CEO right in the hands. So you can go and build any kind of personalized assistant for yourself. And the more you keep training this, right, the more you keep training this, you yourself will be able to see, like, you can deploy this agent as an assistant and you can do something else for yourself. So you can have something like physical therapy and all of these different ways of building a personal assistant for you. So definitely try this out. It's one of the most interesting applications out there of generative AI. Moving on, we do have numerous.ai, which again, if you all are like Excel bugs like me, you can do some data manipulation, formula generation, and go ahead. So there's a quick YouTube video because I feel personal
Generative AI next నేర్చుకోవాలి కదా ప్రస్తుతం చాట్ జీపీటీ
assistant
వాడుతున్నాను
is actually
ప్రాంప్ట్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అండ్ జనరేటివ్ AI మీద FDP
Hello,
కొత్తది కానీ జాయిన్
dear
అయ్యా
participants,
ఫ్రీ
please mute yourself.
hello.
ఇదే ఇది పెట్టుకొని వినాలి ఇదే ఎక్కుద్ది అసలు ముందు ఏదో చెప్పొద్దు కదా
Hello.
I think somebody wants to take the. I'm more than happy for you to take the session. So all I'm saying is, different data manipulation techniques with numerous AI is also possible. It, of course, it comes with the price, but the kind of extraction, text summarization it does, it's quite powerful. So it will definitely help you out in your, different statistical approaches where you can actually do. Maybe I'll just show you through this because the license is not currently enabled for me. But this is one of the most powerful tools where you can actually start with Google Sheets and different features of getting these text extracted. So just within this, you can understand the different sentiment analysis. You can remove hate speech. You can do like formula generation for your statistical models if you want to get into more deep learning and machine learning. So all of that is possible now with generative AI. Moving on forward, we do have a lot going on in the creativity and design space where we are increasingly seeing video editors and creative folks, right? Like AI engineers are in demand, but we are also seeing a lot of these design related jobs that are coming up, which again is a very good idea for young students to get into in case there are no jobs available and there's only creative sphere. They are actually demanding as much as a AI data scientist. So it's a great way to go ahead and explore all these tools. We will keep going forward with the different ways we are able to enhance generative AI for our own data synthesis. So say the faculty has like 700 students applying for a certain exam, and then you need to do in-depth analysis. So this is where, like, you can actually give say perplexity.ai. We can actually build a data set right on perplexity and ask it to analyze. So you can say think like a professor and build the marks memo for 700 students. So based on this, different ways of data collection, structuring the memo, you have this particular data set inserted, right? So this, you can say now analyze how many students are ready for job workforce. This is just an example. Again, like, perplexity will give you different ways of nuanced answers through its retrieval augmented power. So it will break down and say, assuming that, look, this particular set of students, 150 students have A plus, 250 have A, 200 have B. This is your percentage total, and the workforce ready students are only the ones who have A and A plus, and probably 57% of your cohort are going to graduate. So something that used to take hours together for different teachers, different faculty members of different domains to take place, now within like, a few minutes, you're able to assess this data set and actually get workforce ready students, so that the faculty gets, a good review for the work that they have done for so many years, for 4 years. So this is one thing which I really love about Perplexity, is like it breaks down, analyzes the job market, and then it's combining two data sets of job market, your students, and then understanding the readiness percentage and putting it in a proper format for you, so that you will save time. So this is where, again, the RAG and fine tuning both have been processed, because Perplexity has already been trained so long on the job force that it will give you accurate results. Coming to our next topic, after the product, people, tools, we already are seeing a different nuanced way of doing NLPs. So you would ask, what is like natural language processing? It's basically how you talk to the system. So, right now with the kind of evolution that is going on in Gen AI, 2025, you're only going to see AI agents everywhere. India is still going to take some time to get to AI agents, because regulatory frameworks, ethical consideration, also a lot of organizations don't move quickly to AI agents because of the scale that we have, right? The terabytes of data that we have. So we see AI agents in terms of professors that are coming who can, evaluate the students' papers. And actually, this AI agent does that job, and the professor can go and probably sit with some of the students who are still lagging behind and can coach them, right? So gives you a lot of time. So how does this happen with AI agents and NLP? So basically, any data or document that you give, there is a NLP query which is sent. You get the response back to the AI agent, which you can think like a robo. And that robo technically does the task evaluation, and now can do the code execution also. So you don't need to sit and tell like the prompts that, hey, look, evaluate the student. The AI agent will do this completely and will able to give you an executed response also. For example, what I showed you in Perplexity, the different breakdowns of different grades of student, I needed to do the prompt, but the AI agent will do everything itself. And then you will get the task output based on, the AI agent's work. If needed, you can do more prompts and actually get more nuanced data sets. This is one way, because we are in the education phase, that we are actually working on. So while we go ahead, sorry, there's a little background noise. Yeah, now it's better. So we were just going on to, our final few modules, where we were trying to see how to integrate these product offerings, right? So you have three different ways of doing this: personalized recommendations with AI, predictive maintenance with AI, enhanced security with AI. These three projects are going to land the biggest jackpot for all of you. So when I say personalized recommendations, again, Netflix is a great example of how it gives you the analysis. And like I was talking about the professors, right? They can become an AI avatar and start giving personalized recommendation on what is the latest blockchain book to study, what is the latest LLM to build, how to move to multimodals. All that personalized recommendation you can integrate with your AI, considering you have a data set. And then for predictive maintenance, again, right? So the different types of analysis. So I was working in PepsiCo. From my own example, PepsiCo also does production of, cola, which we already know, but it also does production of chips. So if you see, small stores will have these chips. But the big factory in PepsiCo will not know how many times small chips are actually getting consumed by the users. So it is so difficult that you go to these different Kirana stores and actually do a predictive maintenance on the frequency of the chips that are getting consumed, right? Because those are the fast selling areas and impulse buying. There is no pattern to it. So this is where predictive maintenance based on historical data, you're able to give some proactive maintenance saying that, hey, look, within this Diwali time, so many chips are going to be sold out. Now go stock some 200 million chips packet within the area of, Andhra Pradesh. So that is how it's going to take place. That predictive maintenance again applies to every probable use case you can think of, right from, manufacturing of predictive maintenance to your solar engineering, where how soon that particular solar grid is going to get away, and then how you, when you need to change the solar chips on that particular grid. So that is also one of the AI product integrations you can do. Things that you've not thought where AI, ML can be fit in, all those spaces you are now able to open up through generative AI offerings. And of course, enhanced security comes through the cyber security options, where you're able to combat deep fakes, where you've seen in different election seasons also that in fact in USA there was one Taylor Swift, who's a famous artist. She was trying to shift the vote to the younger generation to one particular party, and that was quite you would not know whether she's really that person or is it a AI deepfake. So this is where through different sentiment analysis, cognitive analysis, you are able to identify whether this is a deepfake or whether this is generated analytics. So you use frameworks like GAN for that. So GAN is one of the latest upcoming ones. Within that framework, like that itself is going to take like 1 hour of session, but definitely recommend you to kind of deep dive into AI deepfakes with GAN and how they are making it more real and human-like in today's times. While we've spoken these amazing features and everything we can do with risk efficiency, minimizing risk, task efficiency, time efficiency, there's also very big disadvantages also to AI, which we are seeing. uh, there are being solutions put in place for this. First and foremost is the scale of compute infrastructure, like the kind of necessities that we have for capital investments for the different GPUs, right? We used to, when I was back in school, we had CPUs. Now we are seeing GPUs. So the amount of computational power is just million times more now. So for that, we are actually seeing big tech companies invest in nuclear power to sustain themselves. So AWS, Microsoft both have nuclear power reactors that are, actually doing the computation for that. So we somewhere need to understand how to save our environment through renewable energy and actually be able to do the compute infrastructure cost. Again, the sampling speed, this is all so fast right now. Just the sheer scale of terabytes of data that we are processing, the 60,000 tokens that we just spoke about, OpenAI, Omni One, and the kind of every query that you type in Perplexity or OpenAI is actually consuming. There was a study which says like, I think 10 bottles of water, like per query. So just imagine how much resources you're actually consuming, right? With the kind of speed of queries that are coming in. So that is one thing that we all need to work together. There are big companies that work with sustainable solutions through United Nations, World Bank, World Economic Forum, and they put together some policies and frameworks in place that we need to follow. Definitely, try to bind these things because it makes you much rich of a person. When you think about the ethical considerations, the responsible AI frameworks, that will make you a better AI engineer or AI user even than any a normal person who is not looking at all these other holistic factors. Again, the biggest problem that India has is lack of high quality data. I think in some of the northeastern states, some of the polling was taken in the form of pencils and pen, uh, which again, how do you take this raw unstructured data in the form of digital format? How do you convert into rich data set that can actually give you precision accuracy outputs versus garbage in, garbage out, right? This is one big problem to solve. In fact, one of the founders in Silicon Valley is solving for this. I think if you are into cybersecurity AI, you are like, going to do very well. You're doing high quality data sets, going to do very well. I recently had the privilege of meeting Peter Diamandis, who's the CEO of Singular University. He is very closely knit with Elon Musk as well. Like Elon Musk is kind of like his best buddy. He was there at Hyderabad, and I had the privilege to tell him that we are building for Poshna GPT, and we do not have the healthcare data sets that will tell us from the age, weight, height of a child how to give you predictive analytics of whether the child is malnutrition or not. There's no structured way of doing it. There's only some certain data sets that I can take, but it won't speak to India level. And you know what he said? He was like, I don't know how to solve this. He himself told that this is a big problem, and yes, he doesn't have an answer. So if someone of you cracks this particular problem, it is going to be very, uplifting for so many communities in our country too. And last but not the least, the data licenses. This is super important because, even Perplexity, it was not Perplexity, sorry, OpenAI CTO Meera Murati. She was in an interview and they asked her whether they are taking YouTube data and training the data sets, the videos that come on OpenAI, right? For Sora, they have this precision of high level video rendering coming with such minimal compute costs. Did they train YouTube videos to get there? Because you need fine tuning parameters that go on the long term. That will actually get you that very fine output. So, they did not accept anything. And that kind of data encroaching and taking from, New York Times, this was also a big issue. So you cannot take somebody's data without their consensus. So always play within that responsible framework rules. And like I was saying, it's always good to think about these ethical considerations because large AI models have significant computational power. They can go all the way to emitting 300,000 kgs of carbon dioxide. So this is why we see a lot of shift in nuclear power being the main source now for the big tech companies. So how can you, like your faculty actually use this particular collaborative tool? You can do joint decision making, you have teams with you, but the team's AI can also give you, hey, look, these certain faculty think these particular set of students can actually go for masters. These particular set of students can actually go for jobs. Those kind of joint decision making will make life easier versus taking somebody's recommendation which they don't know your history or they don't know your strengths, right? So data sharing also becomes super easy because of these tools. In fact, I'm actually using Gamma tool, which gives me a very nice way of structuring my data, my thoughts, and putting it into a presentation format. Highly recommend Gamma tool. So it's gamma.app, and I can just showcase that we are trying to build responsible AI frameworks. So if you just give that responsible AI framework, I have the one from Microsoft for you all, so that wherever you're building these kind of tools, you can use a responsible framework. You can actually start typing what are the Microsoft recommended responsible AI tools. And it starts actually pointing. I think you need to say add a card with AI. And then you can just say responsible AI framework by Microsoft. And then it will generate the entire content which Microsoft has publicly available and put in the form for you. So this is why I love using this tool, very useful for student presentations also. So yeah, that will take some time, and it's going to generate everything. So this, let me quickly delete that. Yeah. So we've seen different chatbots to chip AI that you can build. We've seen different tools like numerous AI that can do your financial modeling. Perplexity does like student demographic analysis and actually give you the outputs that you require. We also have a lot of competition scholarships, so we are very proud users of Verix. If you need Verix certifications, please do reach out, and we can actually get you in touch with the founder. So it's also using AI powered tools to build your kind of certifications you can design. It's like Canva for awards and partnerships and different competitions you have. So last but not the least, I want to like keep 15 minutes for any kind of questions. But before that, would love to share our different the different ways you can interact with us. You want to learn AI agents, agentic workflows, build products with us, please, scan the QR code. You can join our community where we have um, different ways of matching your profile with the skill profile. So you come in with a skill profile, say 60%, and based on the skills you built with us, we can then see if the AI has calculated your skills. Say you from blockchain, you have now moved to LLMs and SLMs and multimodals. The AI tool will be able to tell you, hey, look, you went from 60% to 99%, and now you have more job opportunities. So highly recommend, coming onto that tool as well. This is supremely important for all the students in the faculty, and then the faculty coming in as mentors and teaching almost 100,000 users now. So you will definitely get a profile, and then you have a AI powered matching solution. I just hope it shows my score. Let me just me. Right. So you can use different networks and get in. Everything is AI powered. That means you will find the right community for you. You will find the right set of people to take you to the next level. It's asking me to create my thing again, but then I'm already like there on the site. So it should give my skill profile. I just wanted to showcase how much skill profile I'm getting. So this is one last thing that, we would like to welcome you, continue the learnings on Gen AI and actually build with us. Today, again, was very, high level bird's eye view overview, but I think the real journey actually starts when you're building. We do have like 4 projects in the pipeline. Dhan Kanya was recently shared with, the director of police in Telangana. She really loved the solution. Again, I promised to come back with a demo. We are currently facing some bugs with the Python libraries, but happy to actually take this journey forward. I'll just pause here, Kalavati ma'am, if there are any questions.
Yes, ma'am. All the participants are requested to raise their questions.
Or ma'am, we can give some questions also and see how, if you're okay with that, the 10 questions. Yeah. Okay, no questions so far.
Any questions from participants? Sir, Kranti sir, please post questions in Q&A, Google form.
Yes, Yes, ma'am, I'll post it.
Participants are requested to copy the Google form link from the Q&A section. Sai Jyoti?
Madam,
All the participants are requested to switch on their cameras. Please switch on your cameras. Everyone, please. Ma'am, once you stop sharing the screen, all the pictures will be enabled, ma'am. Please stop
Yes,
sharing.
ma'am. I actually stopped sharing, if that's okay. Chatbot for personal assistant. So just giving some of the links here, ma'am. Some of the foundation model framework selection to building personal chatbots.
Or else you forward it to ma'am. I will forward them through WhatsApp group.
Right. FM model selection. Yeah. Right. Also, I would like to say that, mostly I've taken sessions for students. So if somewhere there is some kind of nuances that I need to work on, I will take it as a work next
No,
time.
ma'am, it is highly informative.
Thank you, ma'am. It's been 2 years working with students, so I'm still in that student mode. Sometimes I talk about jobs, and then suddenly I realize that a lot of faculties, but hopefully, this job market also determines how well we are able to teach our kids what they need for industrial experience. So just came with that lens. Yeah.
thank you, Priyanka ma'am, for that engaging and insightful session on overview of generative AI. Your presentation has not only enriched our understanding of this dynamic field, but has also inspired us to explore its vast potential for innovation and creativity. We deeply appreciate the knowledge and the expertise you have shared with us today. Thank you once again for being a part of this faculty development program.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really a wonderful journey to go from different kind of foundation models, how to choose RAG, fine tuning, and prompt engineering, and then go ahead to build some automation tools with you all. Definitely, we'll share the resources link so that it will be able to save you all a lot of time. You're the hardworking demographics of our nation, and thank you for all the service you do.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
As we come to the end of today's session, I would like to express my gratitude to our resource persons, Dr. Kalavati Alla and Ms. Priyanka Kamath, for their valuable contributions. I also want to extend my gratitude to Ms. Priyanka Kamath for helping us in finding the eminent resource persons for this FTP. I am sure that all the participants have gained a lot of knowledge from their sessions, which will certainly inspire new ideas and innovations in the field of blockchain and generative AI. I would also like to extend my thanks to all the participants for being a part of today's session. Your enthusiasm and engagement makes this FDP a great success. Wish you all a great evening ahead, and we will look forward to more exciting session tomorrow. Thank you one and all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, Kalavati ma'am, for this honorable opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I now request all the participants to switch on the cameras. Nirmala Gadi ma'am, can you please switch on your camera? Gopinath sir, you also please switch on your camera. Dr. Kamakshi from Sastra University, can you please switch on your camera? Dr. Anusha Devi, ma'am, please switch on your camera.
Saijoti, take a screenshot of each and every page. Sudhakishore, take a screenshot of each and every page.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Gopinath sir. Okay, ma'am. I have taken some screenshots.
Okay. Okay, thank you all. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.